How are we, lads? Welcome back to another episode of Finn's Farm Life. So I'm currently up with the cows. Oh, you can't even see them now because this camera just does not want to work anymore. So we're just locking them in. So today we are at grass. We dropped 26 acres. It's only one of the fields of, say, the second cut. Because we want to finish off that pit that we were doing there 2 weeks ago. That one needs to be finished, so it needs to be sealed. So we're going opening it again, putting in another 26 acres, and that's that closed, done, finished, and we're done with that pit then. And then we're going to drop the rest of it in, which is about another 120 acres. That'll be dropped next week, and we're going to bring in 25 acres of whole crop with that. That's coming from Adair, so that's over at Shines. We've that bought from over there, so that'll be brought back next week. So the plan is there's a pit there that still has silage in it. We're going to be using that as the back wall. Fill up again it. On the left hand side we're going to put a bank of grass, and on the right hand side is the wall, so we're going to be filling the whole crop again, that, and then silage up on top of it. So that's the plan. Thankfully over the last while we have gotten back on top of our grass, so that was only cut maybe 10 days ago. That was topped, the cows have grazed it, and it's nearly sitting at 1,000 cover again. So we are back on top of grass again, thank God. We had a bit of a bare patch in the middle because we took out a lot we took out an awful lot of grass, say, to get back on top of it, in terms of took it out of the grazing platform for silage. So getting back on top of it was kind of our main priority. So thankfully we have done that, and now everything on the farm bar one field has been cut at least once. But those are the kind of graze outs we're getting at the minute compared to what we were doing. It's unbelievable. So they're getting exactly 2 grazings per paddock now. So and the paddocks are clean. So, and they still are getting the mix, but it's only sitting at about 4 ton at the minute. But it's just to maintain their yields, while also having a small bit of appetite on them, that they'll come out and do a good graze out on the fields. So that's the way things are sitting now. So I have to go now, and we're going to start stripping the silage pit ready for later on. And it's probably only going to take about 2 hours to bring in the road field. Like you can see it from here, literally just over there beyond this paddock here, it's that silage ground there. So out there is kind of probably the biggest block of ground in one solid block of ground. So we say we'll bring that in and get that done, because we'll only have 2 drivers this evening, because I'll be milking cows and 2 of the boys are going to draw, and we'll put it up. So it worked out fairly well for us. But our next cut in, our plan is we're going to only spread a fraction of the nitrogen we spread for the last 2 cuts. I think we went out with about 80 units the last couple of cuts. I think we're going to go down to maybe 60-70 units. I'd say actually maybe 60, and we're going to aim to have that to be cutting again in 5 weeks, spread again and cut again in another 5 weeks. If the growth stays going the way it is, we're going to get decent cuts the next 2 cuts. So that's the way the plan is going anyway. And then that road field in after the next cut, so which would be 3rd cut, that might be taken out for that'll be going for grazing after that, and then we'll get a 4th cut in off everything else. So after 3rd cut, road field is going to go into grazing ground, and we're going to take, and then the 2 paddocks that I mentioned the other day for reseeding, we're going to reseed an extra one as well. So we're going to do 3 instead of 2, and we're going to take the 26 acres into the grazing platform instead, to counteract that ground being taken off, and we're going to do that for the next few years and do a bit more reseeding. So I suppose the logistics weren't there in terms of we weren't sure what way we were going to graze them, be able to graze the road fields. So now we kind of have an idea of it since we grazed it at the start of the year. So that's the plan. So I'm going to go and start stripping this pit, and I will catch up with you in a while when I'm making a bit of progress. Now I've jumped on slightly. They went to shit slightly. No point in saying no more about it, but we had a lot of other stuff going on. I went to strip the pit, we got sidetracked, went to something else, went back to doing the pit, got it stripped, then things got pushed on a bit further. We've milk lorry coming in about 10 minutes, and I'm just after finishing the cows. So Parlour is washing at the minute. I'm hoping it's done before he lands on, and I'm just walking out the cows. The lads started the silage while I was milking, so they're not too far from finished. So I'm going to go over there now after this, and I'll show you. I just need to walk out these cows before they start coming back into the parlour at me. So I'll come back into the shed. So we'll get this done, and we'll fly over, have a look at the silage. There's a decent crop on it. The lads are staying on top of it. So I'd say we won't be covering it this evening. I'd say we'll be covering it tomorrow. There's a fair wind there now, so we'll probably hold off on covering it until tomorrow. So we'll go with that. Right, I'll talk to you shortly. Now, I'd say by the looks of it outside there, they're done outside. I don't know if you can see them down there now at all, but they look like they're finishing up. There's only a few bits there lying around the field. I'd say they'll just go around now and take up them few scalps, and that'll be the end of it. But the two lads are working away here. Jack's in the 190 and Stevie's on the buck rack. So that is now first cut in there. 70 acres of paddocks taken out, and 26 acres of the second cut got into that pit, and that is that pit done and dusted, and it's not been opened again. For love nor money am I opening that again. The only thing is now that this second pit might be opened again, because we've after taking out that field now, we've only 100 acres to win there, as well as the 24 acres of whole crop that's coming in next week. That's coming off from Shines, so we'll see. But the only thing is, we have in the third cut we've another 14 acres of whole crop to come in, so we're going to spray these fields now. We're going to cut them back down to maybe 50 units and try and get them cut in 5 weeks, and then go for a fourth cut in again in another 5 weeks time. So we'll see, but if we're going for a fourth cut, it's going to be in October. So that's a decision we'll have to make. But yeah, looks like we're getting wrapped up here now. Job finished for a week until we're back at it again. More madness, that's all it is. But that pit, in fairness now, that pit is a savage pit, and it's good square. Like, you'll be eating into a good block of grass there when you first open it. Like, you're not going to be opening it and after 8 into, like, you'll be opening a big scalp of it. Like, you're going to be getting a good height of grass, like, as soon as you open it. Like, so it's a good square bit of grass. So yeah, we'll see what way it works out. But yeah, I'll try and think now what have I on tomorrow. I've only more strimming on tomorrow now, so it's just all boring, lads. It's all boring, to be quite honest. There's only a small bit of silage here and there, and I couldn't even get a proper video of this because they started while I was at the cows, and they were basically done when I was finished the cows. So it's not ideal, but sure, look, what can you do? But yeah, I will leave that video here, this video here. New videos every week. Like, subscribe, do all the good things, and any suggestions for anything you want to see on the farm that you'd be interested in seeing that I haven't shown already, or anything you want me to talk about, I do still need to make a video of the how we got on with breeding this year, because we're nearly finished. We've probably another 2 weeks left. So I'll give you kind of a rundown on how we got on there with the smack ticks for our second year, and we'll go from there. So cheers again, and tune in again next week for a new video.